Mahomes.
They won a division 4 years in a row.
My big quarrel with what you guys are saying is, yes, we just kind of have to blindly trust Kansas City because they have Mahomes, because they have Andy Reid. Yes, I get it. I get exactly where you're coming from.
It's not blindly, though.
It's not blind.
Blindly is nuts.
Why can't we just look at this roster and think that it's not as great as previous years?
They still have a really good offensive line. They still have
I don't doubt-
elite tight.
Not really good.
It's
No,
really
no,
great.
They have an
It's
elite
amazing.
offensive line.
The offensive line's amazing. The weapons are mid.
They have still one of the best. If you just want to say tight end, wide receiver combined, Kelsey's probably top 10 in that
I
conversation.
don't disagree. But the wide receiving
the
core
rest
is
is
mid.
concerning. Yes,
the
the
defense
rest is concerning.
not good.
But they've made adjustments. They still have Trish Jones. We know this. They signed Carlos Dunlap, who had 8.5 sacks last year. That was a very
I
late
wish I
signing
knew
that
his
no
name,
one
but
talked
they picked
about.
up George
Karlaftis.
Wow,
They
there it
picked.
is.
They
George
drafted him.
Karlaftis is a
They
beast.
He looks
drafted
good,
Trent,
but in
they
Chris
Jones is
drafted
still
Trent
there.
McDuffie.
Yes, but
now
again,
they have
rookie. You're putting
Yes.
faith in rookies. Then I need
I
to see it.
understand.
But not. So
You're
you guys
putting
are
faith in a
projecting.
rookie head coach.
But I'm putting faith in Russell Wilson.
I'm putting faith in Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes.
But Drew, can we not put last year?
I just say that because the Broncos. I'm sorry for cutting you off, and I'm sorry for cutting all you guys off. I just know that it's my division.
It's
That's
your
why I
division.
feel like I
Go
want to
ahead,
talk
do
a
your
little
thing,
more.
bro.
And I kind of just lost my train of thought with saying that also. But ultimately, what it comes down to for me is I look at the Broncos. We're just a little bit more complete. Yes, it's Mahomes. Yes, it's Andy Reid. And yes, it's Travis Kelce. But at the same time, you look at the rest of the roster, it's not as complete.
Wait, but
Hold on, wait.
On the defensive side of the ball, it's safer for me to say the Broncos will be better than the
I think
Kansas
the
City
Chiefs'
Chiefs.
defensive line is better than your defensive line.
But
I think
how?
it is.
Because of Chris Jones?
Because Chris Jones, yes, because of Chris Jones.
that's
it.
You don't have a player
Randy
like Chris
Gregory,
Jones.
Bradley Chubb, TBD. I
I
don't
would
disagree.
take Chris Jones
and
over
DJ
those two
Jones.
players.
Of course.
If right now,
better depth.
But that's exactly my point.
If right now the Broncos were to say,
they have a
hey,
game changer.
we'll give you Randy Gregory and Bradley Chubb for Chris Jones,
Hang up the phone.
the Chiefs hang up the phone.
Like you don't have it. Like the
I'm not
you
saying
don't have
that
any
you're
game
wrong.
Frank Clark's
changers.
not bad either.
He's not bad, but
Frank
like I
Clark's a good
said,
player.
in
Derek
totality,
Notty's a good player.
in totality, I'm taking Randy Gregory, I'm taking DJ Jones, and I'm taking Bradley Chubb.
So you're taking them.
as opposed to just
So
Chris
you're
Jones.
taking
Who's
those
Chris
Jones,
elite.
you have Karlaftis.
But it's not
But
just Chris
we'll see
Jones.
about Karlaftis.
Wait, no,
We'll
hold on.
see about Chubb. We'll see about Gregory. You paid him
Joe.
$75 million to get what 6 sacks, 7 sacks. How many
I will
sacks
say
did he
that.
have
If you
I don't-
mention
not that
like
many.
Not a
6
lot.
players, okay, I understand your point, but you mentioned 3 players: Chris Jones, Frank Clark,
DJ Jones.
Derek Notty, Carlos Dunlap.
Oh, you're talking about, oh, yeah.
I mean,
Carlos Dunlap,
the
they
Chiefs-
signed him like a month ago, and he was just sitting in free agency.
The
8.5
Chiefs,
sacks last
if
year.
you're putting the Chiefs' best 3 defensive linemen against the Broncos' best 3, the Chiefs win. The Chiefs have better linebackers. The secondary,
great, but-
the secondary isn't there. I understand
That's gonna
that
be the
that's
key.
where the Broncos have the edge.
They do.
But if you're even telling me, are you taking Juju, Kelsey, and Hardman or whoever else?
MBS, Sky Moore.
Yeah, versus
what are you about to do
versus
And throw the
Sutton,
running backs.
Judy.
Throw the running backs in there
I see
also.
how you added the
Throw the-
tight end to make it.
throw the
to
running
look
backs
better.
also.
Yeah,
You had to.
No, that's
You
a
have
weapon.
to.
That's
You
a
have
weapon.
to.
That's a weapon.
I'm not
Because
disagreeing.
their wide receiver room is better.
But throw the
than
running
Chiefs'
backs.
wide
Throw the
receiver.
running backs too.
Clears.
No, your running back
Denver
clears. They just have better tight
This
end.
is
A
the
better
thing.
tight end.
And this is
And
where
O-line.
this is where you look at the talent. Yes, the talent does matter. Just talking about the Chiefs. Last year, they had the fewest drives of any team in the NFL.
Very impressive.
The defense, they had the fewest drives because the defense wasn't very good.
First half, it was terrible.
It's
First
not
half was
that
historically bad.
And people say, "Oh well, they didn't allow many points." Well, this is the thing. The Chiefs' defense was like out of this world good on 3rd down, so they got off the field and in red zone efficiency, so they stopped touchdowns. But the Chiefs had the fewest offensive drives in the league, and they scored the most points per drive, and they gained 41 yards per drive when they had 0 negative plays. So when they don't have a negative play like a holding penalty or, negative
about
yardage,
Sack, of course.
they ranked 11th out of 702 teams since 2000. And they were, even though the Broncos do have those better running backs last year with the Chiefs not having great running backs, they were the most effective run team in 2 wide receiver sets or less last season. Only the Colts and them had a positive EPA in those type of plays.
Because you have to account for Tyreek and you have to account for Kelce.
This is the thing.
Now you're not accounting for the most explosive player in the NFL.
No doubt. But this is the thing. And this is where like the Tyreek point I think kind of gets moot to me. Because Tyreek Hill is an exceptional player. And teams, they play too high on Kansas City because Tyreek can beat
Take
you
away
over the
big
top.
play, for sure.
The Chiefs have 2 players who can beat you over the top. They have McCollum and they have MVS.
It's not the same.
It's not the
I'm high on
same.
McCollum.
It's not the same as Tyreek, but MVS has been top 10 in terms
Keep that
of
to yourself.
deep targets
Telling you.
in the past couple of seasons.
but another thing
MVS
also-
is a really good deep threat. And you in an offense with Andy Reid, when you have Juju running the slot and Kelsey where he's lined up, they're working the middle of the field. You still have to respect speed. Even though they're not Tyreek Hill, you have to respect speed.
Yeah, but it's different because when you go game plan against, say, MVS last year compared to Tyreek Hill last year, we saw what MVS did as the number 2 for the Packers. Not much.
Here's the counterpoint to that, though. Because teams took Tyreek Hill away and they were playing too high, they were now playing Tyreek Hill. They were working him in the middle of the field. So you took Tyreek Hill away from what he's best at doing, which is going deep. They didn't do much of that. Now they have two guys in McColl and MVS who are working as decoys, and Mahomes can make teams pay, and that might even work to their advantage because that might even signal that now teams play up more on the Chiefs because they're not afraid of Tyreek Hill. Little do you know, MVS with his 4.3 speed is going to zoom right past you.
But why hasn't MVS done anything in Green Bay?
He has.
He hasn't had an exceptional year. He hasn't had
This is the thing. It's MVS. Has he had an exceptional like wide receiver number 1 year or two?
He's played his role.
Exactly. And in this offense, he's going to play his role, which
he's never had more than 700 yards.
He's going to play his role as a deep threat.
I know.
He's not asked in this offense to be the best receiver. He's asked to stretch teams vertically.
Yeah.
And that's what he and McColl offer. That's what their skill set offers.
So this is what I wanted to do, and I wanted to look it up just to make sure that I was right. A lot of Hill's production was not on deep passes.
No, yeah, they took it away last year. And historically.
And Hill saw a target, to quote this website, I want to show him respect, FTN Fantasy. Hill saw a target of 20-plus air yards on just 15.4 of his targets. Among the league's 81 qualifying wide receivers, that ranked 62nd. Like, yes, of course, Tyreek Hill and his deep threat ability is unquestioned, but that's not where he did most of his damage.
No, yes, but that's the thing. This what I'm saying, though, is that Tyreek Hill at his best is when he's hurting you deep. They played him.
That's not necessarily true, in my opinion, though.
They played him in a different role this past season because they took away the deep ball when they play too high. Now you don't that. Now you have two players who, yes, are not Tyreek, but they still stretch defenses vertically. You still have to respect speed. And now Juju, who has been exceptional working in the inside of the field,
he's been really good.
He's at his best there. Mm-hmm. Kelsey does his thing. This offense is still going to be fine. In weeks 1 through 7, the Chiefs' offense had 25% of non-kneeling drives and in a turnover. Only team that was worse was the Jets at 31% in the first 7 weeks. And that's when Zach Wilson was like turnover prone. And they still finished with the best record in the division. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Chiefs started off as slow as you can start offensively with their defense being bad, and they still made it work. I think the Chiefs still make it work. I think their defense will not be good. I think they'll be a bottom 20 pass defense. But last year, you know, I think just given how many turnovers they had, how many mistakes they made early on, I don't think that happens. And I think Mahomes, the last thing you want is for a guy like Mahomes to have a chip on his shoulder, and that's what he has. Because everybody's saying, oh, without Tyreek, he won't be the same. Mahomes is going to limit those turnovers. He's going to make teams pay deep, and I guarantee you some teams will play a bit more aggressively because of the non-Tyreek Hill factor, and Mahomes will make teams pay. The NFL has already virtually stopped blitzing Patrick Mahomes because he just makes teams pay whenever they do. The Chiefs will be fine. They're 12-5. I have the Chargers first, and the only reason why is because the Chargers last year, top 5 offensive efficiency. Their defense was the worst run defense in football last year. But you add Sebastian Joseph-Day, Khalil Mack, secondary J.C. Jackson, Bryce Callahan. Asante Samuel Jr. is the outside boundary corner, but they have a guy in Michael Davis who was good, who now becomes your fourth corner. The Chargers, to me, and not only that, but you look at their schedule, they're facing 3 bottom offenses, Texans, Falcons, Jaguars. They're facing the Browns without Deshaun. They're facing the Seahawks. That's 5 wins.
The Broncos have a light schedule, too.
Let's say the Chargers split with Denver, Chiefs, and the Raiders. That's 8 wins right there. I think they can beat Arizona. That's 9. They can beat the Dolphins. That's 10. They can beat the Niners. That's 11. They can beat the Titans. That's 12. And then just another game has to go their way, and they're a 13-win team. I think the Chargers, Chiefs, Broncos, and Raiders are my top 4 in the West.
I have the same. I have the Chargers at 12-5, Broncos and Chiefs at 11-6, Raiders at 9-8. The Chiefs have just they have role players at the weapons room, right? They have Juju over the middle, Kelsey over the middle, but being your number one, you have MVS who could take it deep, Sky Moore kind of doing it all. So they don't have that superstar with Tyreek, but they have guys that do things specifically well. And with Mahomes and Reed, I have faith they'll be able to figure it out.
You want to give yours?
I have the Chargers at 1, the best team in the division. I got the Chiefs at 2. I got the Raiders at 3, and then I'm gonna take the Broncos at 4. Yo, but don't sleep, McCole Hardman breakout year.
I will sleep on my.
No,
I'm telling you,
hibernating.
I have a Bobo-pedic type
when he
of
does
sleep
it,
going on.
and then I'm gonna slap you. I'm gonna wake you up. I'm gonna legit slap you. Like, yo, bro, I'm
What do you think he puts up this year?
gonna give him 8.
800?
Yeah.
That'd be a great year for him.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you thinking, I'm thinking.
What do you think the most yards put up in a year?
5 or 6.
I might take the under.
So
I'll take the under.
So
at
while
6.
you guys look at that, I'll give my rankings. Number 1, I have the Broncos going 12-5. Number 2, I have the Chargers going 11-6.
693 last
Number
year.
3, I have the Chiefs going 10-7, and in last place, the Oakland Raiders with a 9-8
I'm
record.
telling you, this speed. Listen, he gonna have 800.
But we've heard this whole thing before. Like McCole Hardman's
chip on his shoulder. He gonna have 800.
Bro, McCole's
He needs a
mid.
contract.
Touchdowns. He gonna have like
Year 4.
7 plus.
Seven?
I'm gonna take 8 over, and I'm gonna take 7 over. That's what I'm gonna do.
He had 6 his rookie year,
He
but only on 26 catches.
He unfortunately he's fell off since his rookie year, but he gonna
only had
bounce
24
back.
catches his rookie year.
Yeah,
26.
he had his moments where you like McCole.
He
You
did.
see the
Well, that was the year we thought Tyreek was gonna get suspended. They took him, I think, 2nd round. I want to
Yeah.
say, but Tyreek stayed.
so like I said, you 800 over and over 7 touchdowns. I like McCole, man. McCole gonna be good.
We need
Sky
this
Moore breakout year
whiteboard.
too.
We need the
We
whiteboard.
do.
For the takes.
Yes.
We do
We
need
need
a
it before
whiteboard.
NFL season.
You know what? I'm going to Lakeshore, and I'm copping it for us.
I can just go to the Dollar Tree.
All right.
I'll get it. I'll do something.
Good looks. I ain't doing
MVS
nothing,
had
baby.
MVS had 15 drops in his first 3 seasons. He had 0 last year.
Yeah,
No,
did
he
have a
definitely
drop
took
on the
a
start
good
this year.
progression in his
Didn't
development. last
Deontay
season.
Johnson have problems with drops, and
He
then he
did.
just stopped
Ah.
dropping the ball?
Towards the
It
end
was
of-
weird,
yeah,
because
back-
last year, the first like 14 weeks, he had maybe 2 drops. The last few weeks, he ended
struggled.
up with like 6 or 7. But the top wide receivers, like, are all like Jamar Chase had like 9 drops.
Tyreek had a bunch. Debo had a bunch.
Because the best receivers get the most targets. You get the most opportunity to
D-Hop
drop the
don't
balls.
drop shit.
You have
No,
outliers like
Devontae.
Cooper Kupp, Tay.
Devontae
yeah.
don't drop shit either.
You have
So,
outliers.
Even
Over-
Hunter Renfro don't drop shit.
Over his 4-year career,
Yo, stop scratching your eye. I see it. You're scratching
no.
it. Just leave it. Just
itching.
leave it. I get it.
over his
I got drops.
first 4 years, MVS has averaged 17.5 yards per catch, including 20.9 yards in 2020,
Yo.
which led the NFL.
You like you got
He's a-
beat up.
Yeah, I know my eye is
That
itching.
right eye is nuts.
What I'm saying is that, I think football, I'm going to correlate this to basketball. MVS is not one of the big time receivers,
He's Pat
but
Connaughton.
He's a role player.
you play your role.
He's a role
And
player.
in this offense,
Pat Connaughton.
if you can get MVS at $5 million,
Well, they got him at way more.
But wouldn't
than
you
5.
want this to
how
be?
much was it?
12, 11?
Okay.
Wouldn't you want that to be Sky Moore though?
No,
Sky
Sky
gonna
Moore,
be-
I think he's a slot. He works.
No,
in the
but
middle of the field.
he's definitely fast enough where he could be the deep target also.
MVS
He's
is
probably gonna do
4.37.
more than
Of
you.
course,
He's
no.
probably gonna do more.
MVS, I agree.
You paid MVS to be the deep ball guy.
What
You're
I'm saying
expecting
is that
Skyman to be a little
the
more
Chiefs-
well-rounded.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
The Chiefs had to, with Mahomes having his big time contract, you can't pay Mahomes $50 million and Tyreek Hill $30 million. You have to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And MVS, he's not Tyreek Hill,
Not close.
but he can stretch deep. He can keep defenses honest, which is all Andy Reid really
mean,
needs.
It's like going from Steph Curry to Patty Mills.
What the fuck?
It's accurate.
Wow, that's a drop off.
But that's what I'm saying.
that's
Like
the-
you're
but
going
the
from the
reality.
best
Well,
to
the
another
way
guy's good,
the way to
but-
complement or replace superstar talent is you just get depth, hella depth,